Okay. Okay, hi everyone. This is Abobakr from University of Southampton, Malaysia. And welcome everyone. This is the topic of my presentation today is about machine learning, how it changes the world, present and future. So this is the outline. Usually we often heard what is machine learning, but what we mean by machine learning. And also we often heard about artificial intelligence, AI. What's the difference between AI and machine learning? So we'll look at some machine learning tasks, and then we'll talk about the scope of machine learning. So what is machine learning? So first we can think about it as subfield of artificial intelligence. So when we say machine learning, we mean that it is just computer program. But remember that even though it is computer program, but it improves its performance as some tasks through experience. This is what the difference between machine learning and some other programs. Here we see that its performance, it improves over experience. Or we can think about machine learning as it is algorithms whose performance usually improve as they are exposed to more data over time. So you can think now about how learning is happening. So we have some machine or program. So when we give the program more data, its performance is improving. This is what defines machine learning. So in general, we can say about artificial intelligence, it is like broad and active area of research. So usually we can think about robots, why robots fail. So mainly because machine learning models or algorithms are not sufficiently accurate. This could be the reason our model is not accurate. We haven't built the model correctly, or maybe it cannot be accurate because we didn't give a lot of data and a lot of training. So we'll see what we mean by training and what we mean by giving data to our model. So when we say that artificial intelligence, we say that artificial intelligence exists when machine has cognitive capabilities. What we mean by cognitive could be like we can say reading, listening, or we can say about recognizing. So such that like problem solving and learning by example. This is what we mean AI exists. So we are still here about narrow AI when the machine usually is better than us in a specific task. For example, like playing chess. This is, we can see at this particular task, we can think that machine is better than human. So then we say that there is something general AI, where machine is like us in many intellectual tasks. For example, like we can say reading, solving puzzles. This is where we want AI to be like human. So the next step usually where we have to reach in future is about strong AI, where the machine is better than us in many tasks. So this is where still we are here. So we are slowly moving to general AI, where we can see about self-driving cars, about virtual assistants, but still it takes time, but we are moving towards this general AI. So now, as we said that, we said that machine learning is subfield of artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence? It is actually like designing intelligent agent that perceive its environment and makes decision. So it is observe the environment, take decision, and adapt also according to the situation. So we can see there are some subfields of artificial intelligence. One is vision. We have robotics, we have machine learning, and we have natural language processing. So if we talk about machine learning, we say that it is just computers which has ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. So there are different tasks of machine learning. One of them is supervised learning. The other one we have unsupervised learning. There is also about reinforcement learning. So for supervised learning, which mainly we know, it is about classification regression. So for unsupervised learning, usually there is something called clustering dimensionality reduction. So there is also reinforcement learning, but we'll focus about supervised learning so that we can understand what we mean by learning. So now the AI goal usually is to design machine that can sense, reason, act, and adapt. So it means that it should think like human. So for strong eye, it should be much better than human. So we say that when machines start to do what humans can do, then we say that they have some artificial intelligence. So usually the method through which it's achieved, this kind of intelligence, usually is through machine learning in more general. So when we said about machine learning, usually it is huge. You see here, we have machine learning algorithms. You see we have many types. So we can have decision trees, we can have dimensionality reduction, we can have regression tasks, so we can have neural networks, and most importantly now we have deep learning, so which is type of machine learning. We often heard deep learning, so this is just type of algorithms of machine learning. So what do we mean by supervised learning? Usually we say that we are training the model. What do we mean by that? The task could be like suppose classification regression. So what kind of algorithms we have? We have suppose key nearest neighbor, we have decision trees, we have neural networks. So, but how we can give this data to my model or to my neural network or to my algorithm? Usually we give it in the, maybe sometimes like images or sometimes like features. For example, like shape, color, weight, nutrition facts. So we can give my input as image, or I can give it as features. So how we train actually for supervised learning, how we are training our model. For example, this is neural network, which is machine learning algorithm. So we feed the data. So we have a huge amount of data. For example, here I have different types of fruits, and I need my algorithm to recognize if the input, it is apple. If the input is apple, I need my algorithm to say it is apple. So how I am going to train my model is first, suppose I give it apple. So my algorithm in the beginning will say, oh, this is orange. But because it is supervised, no, I said to this model, no, this is apple. So then the model will try to modify its parameters. So next time when I give it orange, or maybe I give it different types, then every time it gives mistake, then I say to it, no, this is the correct output. So as long as I give more data, then my algorithm will learn. So in future, if I give my algorithm, suppose orange, then it will give me output as orange. So this is how we feed the data, and my algorithm will give the output. If the output is not correct, then I have to correct it. So this is called supervised learning. So unsupervised learning is different. There is no labels. I just provide the whole data to my model. Then the model has to categorize the data. It should say, okay, this all should belong to one category. Maybe it doesn't know it is suppose apple or it is orange, but it will say, it will give me suppose like 3 categories, all orange in one category, then all, this is when it is perfect. So next time if I give it a new apple, or maybe small or big, or maybe green or red, then it should give that as belongs to this category. So this is, we call it as unsupervised clustering or learning. So about the scope of machine learning. Okay, so let's look at some of the top use cases that evolving today. So then we will see how we can expand the future scope of machine learning. So the first uses of machine learning is in optimizing operations. So you will find that there are some emerging machine learning technologies that allow retail shops to track body temperature and mask wearing, utilizing thermal imaging and computer vision. Now we can see that if you enter any shop, you will see that sometimes they have this kind of thermal imaging, okay? So they can track body temperature, and mass querying. So also we can find about the renewable energy market, which actually they are utilizing machine learning to mitigate the unpredictability of resources. So this is about optimizing operations. So safer healthcare, because now we have seen with COVID-19. So you see there are some substantial development in machine learning being used to forecast and encourage COVID-19 strategies. So also we think that you can see in medical field, sometimes now they are starting to use machine learning or deep learning for tumor detection and tumor segmentation. So usually the medical sector itself usually continues to using machine learning to get like fast assortment of functions. So usually we can see in future reach of machine learning, we can think that machine learning can tackle more difficult or complex tasks. For example, we can think in future that robots, they can perform complex surgeries. And also like we can think about machine learning applications where we can say about they can do reading, they can read suppose individual history, documents, reports, and they can sometimes invent personalized therapy plans. So we can think about, you see now, IBM Watson, usually oncology is significant project in this area. So we have also about wearable technologies for illness preventions and elder healthcare monitoring. Also, they can be making great strides. Usually, some of them now we can see now started to see these kind of technologies, but we need it in future to be like as much accurate as possible. So about like fraud preventions. So we can see now banks and other financial institutions, usually they utilize machine learning based for fraud detection technologies to prevent malpractices. For example, we can see banks, usually they are constructing machine learning algorithms based. Usually these algorithms usually based on historic statistics to forecast like fraudulent transactions. And also we have about classification and regression approaches usually used to recognize and filter out phishing emails, because now we have seen many phishing emails. So now we have seen that one, but we need it in future so that to be like as much accurate as possible. So we see that about matching techniques for machine learning usually can be utilized to determine like bogus documents, so we can reduce forgery. So other applications we can see about mass personalizations. We can say that retail, social media, and entertainment systems, usually they use machine learning to provide customers personalized experience and services. So you see that for Facebook, usually Facebook feeds, news feeds usually utilizes machine learning in effort to personalize each individual feed based on what they see and like. So if you open like Facebook and suppose you are clicking on some documents or images, then you see the next time Facebook trying to utilize this and personalize what you like, what you want to read. So others we can say for machine learning applications, you see that about predicting security breaches, finding malware and other supposed anomaly in data. Also sometimes improving online search results. It depends on your preferences. And also about natural language processing, we'll see what we mean by that. And also smart cars and smart home, which is something we talk about IoT. So we see that machine learning algorithms usually fuel driverless cars. This is like without driver cars. We see now like Tesla is doing in this field. Now we can see some, but still in future so that we can depend on it. Now still we are facing like we feel that still we are afraid that to have self-driving car. So now let's look now at applications of deep learning, because now this is active area of research now, and we often heard about deep learning. So we have about computer vision. Sometimes we say it is CV. which means that we provide techniques to help computers see and understand. This is what kind of cognitive activities. So we help computer to see and understand the, digital content such as images and videos. Some of the applications of deep learning actually in computer vision is like facial recognition and identification. You can say about drone imagery. So we see now when there is a war between like suppose different countries, or we can see during wars, we see that drones have played important, like it has, I mean, it gives like important, we can say aspect for this, for this kind of battles. So also about guiding self-driving cars, so to identify the road and also like signal lights. So about natural language processing, usually it helps in understanding complexities associated with language. So usually with the increase in computing power, now deep learning usually is able to identify and understand human language. So we are still in the beginning, it's not that accurate. That's why we say that AI assistant, we have Siri for Apple, and we have Google Voice, but still we are in the beginning. So it's still not that accurate. So that's why we see in future, so we'll see much improvement in this kind of technologies. So you can see this Siri and Google usually rely on NLP to process information. So some applications like speech recognition, we can see about sentiment and emotion detection. Also, we can have chatbots, but still we are in the beginning. It takes time to be accurate. So about gaming, usually deep learning usually has revolutionized the way of gaming. So gaming as it was before. So the deep learning usually algorithms can now play against human. So by adapting the player's emotional and psychological state. So we have seen that OpenAI models, now they are playing against human. So in summary, we can say the field of machine learning usually is constantly achieving new breakthrough every day, and it has potential to completely revolutionize our future. So with this rapidly increasing scope of machine learning, you can see that businesses and researchers, they often need to consult machine learning experts to help them just for writing algorithms and developing effective machine learning solutions. So the future of machine learning actually looks promising, as the skilled talent pool of machine learning engineer is still not yet enough. So to meet the growing demand for trained professionals. So report by the leading online job portal Indeed usually says, since the beginning of year 2018, usually employer demand for AI skills has been like consistent, twice the supply of such skilled professionals. So in future, what do you think that? Will machine learning take over every industry? Will like suppose this humanoid bots or robots and smart cars become commonplace in household? We will have to wait actually and watch and see what will happen in future. This is the end of my presentations. Any question?
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Abobakr. Yes, I see in the chat we have a question from Julie Ang. I think there are two questions there. First question is, what applications can, I think she means, what applications do students use for foundation in computer science?
For foundation, see what happened is that because for machine learning, usually what you say, what applications? Okay, for computer science, usually when you study about algorithms, data structures, and you have some course about machine learning, then you can see some kind of application where suppose like suppose like for tracking, like suppose plates, suppose for cars. So if you can see the cars, you can recognize the plate number. So this kind of application, recognizing the car's plates. This could be one application of machine learning for foundation in computer science. Okay. So
she wrote the software applications. I think what she means is the software applications that students use.
So if you mean about software application, usually suppose if you learn Python, if you think about software applications, then usually you will start learning programming, then you will start with Python as a tool for developing machine learning applications. Okay, still you can use Java. Okay, this kind of software we will use to develop machine learning algorithms.
And her other question is, do you teach machine learning in foundation?
You mean for foundation for computer science or foundation year?
I believe she means foundation for computer science.
I mean for the first year, I mean, because I usually for foundation year, I mean, before you join like undergrad, usually you will talk just about basics of programming. But for machine learning, to learn it, usually it takes like in the second or third year of undergrad.
Okay,
yeah, I think I can answer a little bit on that. Actually, in one of the other modules taught by Dr. Marwan, he actually goes through the basics of machine learning, like about supervised and unsupervised learning. Although it's not in depth, it is an introduction to machine learning. Because as foundation, what is foundation meant for is to solidify your understanding of computer science. So if you are wondering if you are going to be introduced to that, yes, we are.
Thank you, Elham. That is one of our students. Perhaps you can introduce yourself, Elham.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Ilham, and I'm currently taking Computer Science Foundation in the University of Southampton, Malaysia. Yes, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself before I speak.
No worries, thank you so much. Before Elham shares more about his experience, do you have any further questions for Dr. Abobakr? You can type in the chat box or unmute yourself. Let's give them a couple of minutes. If no one has any questions for Dr. Abobakr, I will move on to show a video that was done by our students about our facilities. I know that some of you were already shown this video earlier, but I see some new participants, so I will share the video again. So if you have any questions, just type in the chat box. But thank you, Dr. Abobakr, for your talk, and see you again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to University of Southampton, Malaysia. Hey everyone, I am Muhammad Dawid Farzan. I'm from Sri Lanka initially, and I am a mechanical engineering part 1 student. I'd also like to mention that I'm a part of a few clubs as well, especially the T&Cs club and the Wine Society. Welcome to our courtyard. I would like to mention about the ample space we have over here. It brings out a new environment for group study. It's a very, very fun environment, and I personally love the natural lighting that proceeds out of this place. Gives us a nice, really vibrant place for us to actually come up with great ideas for some of our projects and some of our work as well.
Hi, I'm Yamashita Nakihiro. I'm from JB, Malaysia, and I'm currently a student in the engineering foundation.
Now, this is my favorite place, the digital library that features 200 million digital resources.
Alright, so this is the computer suite which is directly attached to the library, and students can access the digital resources here.
We're now in one of the computer science labs. It is equipped with around 200 programs and packages, enabling students to enhance their skills.
Hi, my name is Dua, and I'm a Year 2 Business Management student. I'm originally from Pakistan, but I spent most of my life in Oman. And moving to Malaysia, I've been involved with the Student Association as a treasurer, and I've also been working with TEDx as a curator. This is the Bluebird Lab, which is a new state-of-the-art facility at the USM campus and is equipped with 12 Bloomberg cameras. This is the business experimental lab where students can come brainstorm, design, and program their design products.
Okay, so this is one of the 3 EFY labs that we have to do our experiments and our practical sessions. Right, so as you can see in this lab, there are a lot of power sources, and this is mainly used for experiments that involve electricity and electronics.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Aiman Hafiz, and I'm from Negeri Sembilan. I'm from Triple E Year 2, currently progressing in my 2nd semester, and I'm also the president of University of Southampton, Malaysia IET on campus. Welcome to our electronics lab. This is where we do most of our stuff, including our labs, studying new stuff related to our electronics part, as well as revising.
Welcome to the Aerospace Lab. This is one of the most prominent places that aerospace and aeronautics students come to learn and simulate the marvels of physics and mathematics. Welcome to our mechanical workshop. As a mechanical engineering student, this is my favorite place because we come here a lot to work on a lot of our projects. This is our design studio. Recently, we had our intensive design activity project where we were involved in a group project to make a line launcher. This one right here is our line launcher that we created, and we did a lot of testing with this brilliant space to make sure our project comes out on top.
Oh, hi there. I just left university and I'm going home now. I stay at Econes, which is the building right there.
All right, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Over to you, Ilham.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Let me just introduce myself again for formality. So my name is Ilham, and I'm currently taking my foundation in computer science at the University of Southampton, Malaysia, and I'm here to talk about my experience as a student. So before that, let me tell you why did I join University of Southampton, Malaysia. One of the main reasons is because of the scholarship. The scholarship is quite generous, and also they do. And I should tell you that I am actually from Singapore originally. So when I came to University of Southampton, Malaysia, I was happy to hear that they offer scholarships for international students. Another reason why I joined is because of the Computer Science Foundation year, obviously, because with the Computer Science Foundation year, it allows you to prepare for the bachelor's, your undergraduate program, in only 1 year at a much sped up rate. Yeah, and also one of the other big reasons because of the prestigious backing behind the university. As you know, the University of Southampton is one of the top 100 universities in the UK, and is also the top UK university right here in Malaysia. So now let me talk about my experience as a student in the university. Well, let me tell you that this Computer Science Foundation year, I'm actually part of the first batch of students taking this course, and I'm very happy to say that the quality of education they offer here is quite impressive and top class. The classes are well presented. The lecturers and the teachers, they are very dedicated to teaching. They are very passionate when they are explaining to students something, and they are always happy to answer your questions whenever you have them, like after class, or if you want to send them an email, you can. And you may also wonder about the quality of the online teaching, because currently we are still living in the pandemic world. And let me tell you that during my first semester, semester 0, at the University of Southampton, the whole semester was online due to the COVID. And yeah, the experience I would have taking learning it in the university. So don't worry, there's not much disturbance if you are learning online. In fact, some of the learning platform this university use is Blackboard and Teams. Okay, so now let me talk about what I actually learned in my foundation year during I'm currently in my second semester. So I will be telling you about the things, since you're probably here to learn computer science. So I'll tell you about the modules that are related to computer science. One of the modules, computer applications and systems, taught by Dr. Marwan. It gives an introduction to computer architecture, about computer networks, about everything about hardware based, and it's quite interesting to see what is the inner workings in each computer. Another of my modules, theoretical applications of computers, taught by the gentleman here, Dr. Abobakr. Yes, he was the one who was lecturing just now. He taught me about discrete mathematics, about the different programming paradigms, as well as how computers represent data. So you might be thinking, this isn't really related to programming. Why should I learn this? Well, by knowing the inner workings, the finer details of the computers, this will make you a better programmer. I'm sure that some of you are looking into computer science is because of the programming aspect. So let me just tell you about that. And if you are wondering about the programming, yes, I do learn programming in one of my modules, programming and coursework. So the language you are learning right now is Python, and we have created a few projects. One of the projects was programming an inventory manager, like using databases and SQL. And another project that we had to complete this semester is to program a physics simulation, where you can have an interactive app to see what happens if you put a value for this and a value for that. Yeah. So as I say, the quality of education is very intellectually stimulating, and it helps you become a better computer scientist, a better programmer when you'll take your bachelor's course in the year after the foundation year. Okay, now that is about what I've learned. So let me tell you about my student experience. Of course, if the student's experience is not good, then why should you learn here? Well, let me tell you that the student's experience here is superb. Firstly, if you're wondering about how hard the course will be, the grades will be based on doing projects and exams. So there's not a lot of homework. The difficulty of the course is not that high. Another thing I would like to talk about is the facilities here. For example, the computer lab. The computer lab, there are many of these in the university, and these computers, they are equipped with a lot of the applications and software that one will need to use as a computer scientist. And also, I would like to talk about my favorite room, my favorite facility in the university. It is the digital library. If you do come to the university, I recommend that you check out the cubicles there. It is a very relaxing and peaceful place to study. Okay, another aspect of the student's experience is the social life. Okay, so we do have this club, this university do offers clubs and societies, and these are run by the students. So we have a few of those, like badminton and futsal club. We do have esports. We do have a board games club as well. And yeah, that's all and we have more clubs which I have not mentioned. And I think that's all I have to say about university. So thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Ilham. That was a very enlightening sharing session. I'll pass over to my colleague Umi to explain more about the scholarships, and then we can go to Q&A. Thank you. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sarah. We meet again for whoever that have met me just now. So I'm just sharing my screen again. Yep. So, am I sharing the right one?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm opening so much tabs, so I'm not so sure. All right, so I'm Umi. I'm a senior recruitment officer. I'm based in KL and Selangor. That's my contact number. That's my email address. So if you have more question about the program, you can also contact me. You can also WhatsApp me later on to know more information. All right, so for computer science, first thing first, like I mentioned just now, this 10th anniversary special scholarship, last date to apply is 28th of February 2022. So please apply for whoever that looking for foundation in computer science, especially. And also, here are the scholarship for foundation and undergraduate. And also for computer science. So you can see from here, these are all the scholarship that we have for students. All right, we also have other bursaries. And then like what have mentioned earlier, we have external sponsor bodies include Yayasan Telekom, Yayasan Tenaga Nasional, Kumpulan Yayasan Sabah, and Kumpulan Yayasan Sarawak. And another thing, for students that didn't manage to get a scholarship, we also have a student study grant, which is you have to apply to us, then only we are able to assess on the study grant. And also another thing that I want to highlight, like what I mentioned earlier, for anyone that apply by this week, meaning that starting from yesterday until next Sunday, we are able to give you 500 fee waiver on top of your tuition fees. All right, okay. So basically, if you wanted to know more, if you wanted to know how much are the fee, what are the entry requirement, and then how much scholarship that you can get, just contact me. Okay, I'm gonna put my contact number here at the chat. All right, so feel free to send me your trial results, your IGCSE result, and then I can help you to actually pre-assess before you putting in application. All right, I think that's about it from my side. All right, let me just stop share.
Thank you so much, Umi. Okay, does anyone have any questions at all for Dr. Abobakr, Ilham, or Umi? You can type in the chat or unmute yourself to ask your questions. There's a question over there. May I ask if there's any open day after this? Like, okay, so we have an upcoming open day in March, end of March. So stay tuned for the exact date. Keep your eyes open. We have a physical open day end of March. Yes. Is the April intake going to be online? No, it will not be. Yeah.
Because our students have been to school since November 2021. Everyone have been doing physical classes. May I know like around how many people will be in one intake for foundation in computer science? Dr. Abobakr, do you roughly know how much student in one intake for foundation, roughly?
You are muted.
Yeah, I think now we have 27 for this intake. Usually if there are more, they will be having two different like sessions. But usually now we have 27.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any further questions?
I think you guys are already aware that the foundation, we have 3 intake, which is April, July and also September. For undergraduate, it's going to be September.
Okay, if there is no other questions, we will move on to the other breakout room and we'll have a couple of minutes break before the next session starts. Thank
Bye,
you so
Sarah.
much. Thank you. Thank you, Umi.
Got question. Currently, how many students do you have for bachelor degree in computer science? I think, how many classes we have for computer science right now for bachelor degree?
Now we have 19 students.
90.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right,
Let's wait. Let's wait a couple, like just one more minute in case someone is typing a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I think no.
Oh, I think.
Yep, that's all.
Everyone. Yep. All right. Thank you so
bye,
much.
Sarah.
Bye. Thank you, Dr. Abobakr. Thank you, Ilham. Have a good Sunday, everyone. Bye.
Okay,
Yes, thank you
you.
too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.